CFM Radio, we are live.
Hey man, welcome to CFM Radio. How's it going, Victor?
It's pretty good, Drix. I was gonna say this groovy tune is unmistakable. It is the new hotness, Balatro. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone loves it. Hey, I got a question for you, Drix. How do you play Balatro without any electricity?
I don't know, but somebody made a reel, found a way.
It's always fun when you're playing Balatro. And you know what? We got a stream tomorrow of Marvel Rivals. It's going to be a little bit of a late night stream, but it's going to be okay because we got to make up for the stream that didn't happen on Tuesday. I had a little bit of a house shakeup. Things were going, I need a little work done in the house, so I couldn't stream, but we're playing it tomorrow. But in between those things, I've been playing, of course, Balatro. And I've been playing a little bit of this, you might have seen it on the Secret Level Amazon show if you watched it. It's a little game called Honor of Kings.
Huh. I've heard much of this lately.
Yeah, it's not a super high-profile show or a super high-profile game in the West, but in China it's huge. And you know what? It's a nice little MOBA. I have fun. It's pretty responsive.
Yeah, and some cameos from SNK characters.
Yeah, man. I got Nakaruru from Samurai Showdown. It was awesome. Like, I'm bad at jungling, though, so I can't really play her.
Yes. Jungle is massive. Yep. And I'll be back on Monday with more WrestleQuest over on our Twitch around 8 o'clock.
I can't wait for some more WrestleQuest, man. That game is so cool because, like, all of the, like, little Easter eggs and tidbits and wrestling jargon and
deeped in history.
Yes, very much love went into that game.
Yeah, for the culture and the fandom as a whole.
And that will be next Monday on RPG Theater over there on twitch.tv/CFM on Twitch. Head on over there. Give us a follow on the Twitch channel. All of our gameplay is on Twitch.
That's where we play our games.
That's where we play the games. If you haven't already given us a like on this one, give us a like here, CFM Radio. And hey, you know what? If you're not subscribed, come on, guys. Every Wednesday, you got to be here.
Yes. Click the button. Everybody feels good.
Everybody feels good. I feel good. You feel good. The button feels good. Google feels good. It's all good. But you know what else I'm wondering is any good, Drix?
Oh.
I'm wondering if that game that you've been playing has been any good, because from what I hear, you have a game review for us.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I might just open up this game review show pit here with Tyrant's Realm. This one's got a bit of an old school aesthetic. It was made in Unreal 5, but it looks like it could have been made for the N64 or the PS1.
Wow. Unreal 5 is crazy. It definitely looks super retro.
Yeah, that's a nice trick. That's a pretty sweet gimmick. And it is what I learned from Vector how to say decidedly old school. Yeah, so you will be familiar with a lot of the mechanics and how the combat feels, because it is very much a Souls-like game. It's very like Dark Souls in that you got dodge, roll, barrel breaking, blocking, parrying, some kind of slow wind-ups and interesting boss fights and stuff. But a few things that make this game different is, of course, well, it wouldn't be Rogue Souls 64 if it wasn't roguelike. So
Rogue Souls, baby. Rogue Souls 64 definitely has the N64 aesthetic going on.
Yeah, N64 didn't get a lot of horror games, but had this been out on the 64, like, it probably would have made some waves and shook stuff up. because you
Yeah,
got your
especially
dark,
with
like,
these executions like we just saw on the screen. Holy shit!
yeah, you got your dark dungeony vibes that the N64 could have used a lot more of, and yeah, so it's tough. You die, and you pretty much just start all the way over from the beginning. There's like a I don't know, Mario overworld style level path, and you never really play the same level twice because it's all kind of procedurally generated and stuff. So it's actually kind of satisfying. It's an interesting itch that like I got to scratch. And it felt good after overall, because the roguelikes, you have to kind of like want to do it again. So as you're going through each level, you earn a bunch of coins. You have kind of simplified stats, and let me cue up another song here. Simplified stats. It's not as like in-depth builds as like a Dark Souls game. You only really have like 3 stats. There's like red, green, and yellow, and these correlate with the equipment that you might find. So you can only equip like 3 things: sword, shield, or like weapon, defense, and your armor.
Okay, and those all correlate with a color?
Yeah. So you got these little color-coded kind of things. So you're not like fully building into like classes. You're not digging that deep into your your RPG toolbox. It's kind of really simple, streamlined, fun, good time. If you like, the aesthetic and the presentation.
It definitely looks like one of those games where, yeah, Rogue Souls 64 absolutely is a great descriptor for this game, because it has, and you know what is funny? At a glance, it definitely has that retro aesthetic, but you know what, Drakes? I can understand what you're saying when you could see the Unreal 5, especially in this little fight right here we got on screen. These character models are pretty retro, but this movement is really fluid. And it looks like it runs like butter. It looked pretty impressive.
Absolutely. No, it's definitely, and I was playing it on a PC, so the frame rate is definitely not out of the Nintendo 64. It gets up there and everything runs and plays really smooth. And yeah, I got into the combat. You, depending on what you have equipped, you have like a different ability. So, your right two triggers are for like fast and strong attacks. Your left 2 triggers, the one is to block, and then the other one depends on what you're wearing. So yeah, not a lot of like really simplified, streamlined, color-coded stats and skills. And as you earn money between levels, you spend them at a merchant. I know I got some B-roll of the menus. And
yeah, we're looking at it right now. Good timing.
Yeah. So, I mean, the more I looked at it, the more I really got into how it looks. And I was like, okay, like this is kind of cool. Even scrolling through the menus, like looking at these objects, it's like somewhere between like Minecraft and like PS2.
You know what? It is funny. It definitely has that. I would actually say that the environments are very evocative of something like a PS1 or an N64 game. But funny enough, other character models other than your character are pretty Minecraft in that they're like oddly high fidelity, right? Like these executioners and these bosses that I'm seeing in this B-roll, and that parry right there. Damn, these parries, they definitely they have that modern day flair, right?
Yeah, exactly. All the herbs and spices that just take it just above, the hardware capabilities. It's retro Rogue Souls 64. Like it's hard to put it more complicated than that, because it's simple, but it's actually very effective.
So
yeah,
it doesn't
maybe
so
not
it
a lot
doesn't
of
really
variety in like enemies and stuff.
I was gonna say, so it
giant
doesn't
world to explore.
Not really in reinventing the wheel or leaning into that Dark Souls esoterica of like, there's kind of a story, right? Like it's just like straight up Souls. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, I mean it does lean into not telling you a whole lot and just letting the more things you discover, the more things you kill, the more kind of the more healing flask that you drink and upgrade and stuff. It kind of like reveals itself a little bit later, just kind of in the reading aspect of it. But you don't really spend a lot of time reading in this one. You're mostly just you're trying to get the best gear for your run, and you're unlocking things at the merchant so you can do better by running through the game. And I'm sure there's some kind of reward for doing it like in a time limit, because it keeps track of of every minute you spend not in the merchant's lair. But I am not that good. I enjoy it for a non-Souls player kind of guy. But yeah, for me, this one's good. It ended up being a solid 3 out of 5.
Nice. So definitely, let me ask you this question though. If you are a Souls fan, do you feel like this is worth your time? Or is this more geared towards somebody maybe more like you, who's a little bit more like has an affinity? I'm not going to call you a retro gamer, but you have that affinity for the retro stylings. And do you feel like this is more geared towards that audience, or do you feel like it could stand on its own with like the Lords of the Fallens and the Thymesias and the Dark Souls proper?
I guess that depends on whether or not the aesthetic hooks with you. Yeah, you're definitely not getting like, I don't know, the production value. It might be one way of putting it, as something more aimed for AAA. But it is like, it feels like bite size, on the go. I don't know. Yeah, less stressful in its combat and stuff. But
so definitely more towards the beginner or like your first Souls game kind of idea. But when I'm seeing these menus and stuff, it definitely seems like there's a lot to sink your teeth into, at least in that management element of it seems like 3 slots is just enough, combined with those little buffs that you're seeing is just enough to like really shake up the gameplay.
Yeah, or you might just want to make enough coins to get like that specific build that you really like.
Right.
And it's kind of it's a really fun gamble to try and do over and over again, and like slowly increase your odds. Like that is a pretty cool like rogue like game. Rogue Souls 64.
Rogue Souls 64, aka Tyrant Realm. And that game is out right now for the PC and on Steam. You can check it out. And Drix, once again, what was your final score?
I gave it a 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5. CFM Radio, Tyrant's Realm. And you know what? I gotta say, this game definitely looks really cool. I love how the Soulsborne or the Souls-like genre has evolved into this like its own thing, kind of like took over action adventure games. But like,
yeah,
it feels cool and it looks interesting, and I have come to find that I enjoy these kinds of takes on these Souls-likes more so than like your Lies of P's, or like your Thymesia even, because the other game that really sticks out in my mind was a game called Steel Rising, and that was kind of it was a different type of Souls-like, but it was a lot more stylized. This seems like the polar opposite. Like this is like a Souls-like deconstructed.
Yeah, it's it's the PS1 demake of Bloodborne for sure.
Bloodborne cart, as it were.
Yeah, just a little less heavy on the lore.
Well, there you go. Tyrant's Realm, 3 out of 5. Drix says thumbs up. If you know what, if you see it on sale, right? It's not an instant pick it up, especially not for someone who's like really into the Souls-likes. Like if you like your Souls-likes, you're probably going to be like a little bit more, from the sound of it, at home with your little bit more complexity. But
crossed over with your roguelite fandom.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? If you do fancy yourself more of a retro gamer, maybe this is up your alley.
Absolutely. That's a good way of putting it.
And that was Tyrant's Realm, and we are going to jump into new game releases because we have a little bit of them this week. But first, we have another story that I want to get to, and that is... Oh, shit. Yeah, has to do with this little game that you see on screen right now. And, you know, it's interesting because, Drix, this is actually a leak.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I definitely don't have the music for that one yet.
It's a leak for a game that was only originally announced for Switch, but it sounds like it's coming to PlayStation.
Yeah, secret port leak release.
From Gamatsu on Blue Sky, the tweet, or whatever post, I don't know what Blue Sky is. So, like, the tweet, it looks like a tweet, is, quote, a PlayStation Store page for Fantasy Life I, the girl who steals time, was published before being quickly removed last night. It lists the PS5 and PS4 version, and an April 23rd release date, or April 24th, depending on your time zone. Currently only officially announced for Nintendo Switch release in April. And now, you know, okay, so Drix, we know that studios like Square Enix are dropping console exclusivity. And we know that PlayStation in particular likes to announce multi-platform games that seem like they might be coming out on PlayStation only, but are normally just timed exclusivity deals. Sounds like the table's turned.
Oh yeah, things are different. They are changing in the gaming industry.
Absolutely. And you know what? These little chibi games, I'm happy that they're getting a wide release for multiple platforms because, come on, man, look at this little game. It looks awesome. Looks so cute.
Yeah, give the people what they want. And sometimes that's cute things. Sometimes
that is chibi. And, you know, it's pretty interesting when we've had, because normally how it is another thing is normally we get Switch games that leak, right? Normally Switch is the console that has all the leaks coming out from it. But,
yeah,
you know, this is one of those times where, oopsie, we published the PlayStation page.
You know, I've managed a website once or twice, and these things can happen.
Hey, it can be tough. I managed CFM.com, and you know what? In our early days, we had a lot of problems. So I empathize.
Exactly.
But you know what? Right before we get into new releases, if you have not already, make sure that you hit the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't, because we're going to get into some new game releases right after the break. But you know what? We're going to let this little bouncy tune keep on pushing. What is this little tune, Drix?
Man, the Xbox mascot that never quite happened. Blinks the Time Sweeper.
Oh,
Time Square.
Time Square from Blinks the Time Sweeper. Not John Halo. Never will be. CFM Radio. We'll be back with new releases. CFM Radio.
CFM Radio.
CFM Radio, we are back.
That was a song called Am I Only Dreaming from Metropolis Street Racer, one of video game music's favorite composers, Richard Jacques.
Richard Jacques of Sega fame. That guy is probably, if you are a Sonic fan, if you are a Sega rhythm game fan, if you loved any of the music in Sega games in the 90s and early 2000s, probably, I think, up until the early 2010s, it was all Richard Jacques, baby.
Yeah, you owe it to this guy.
He is the man. But you know what? We got some new game releases.
Yep. Every Wednesday here on CFM Radio, we give you the new release updates.
Wednesday. And you know what? This Wednesday, it's pretty strong. I have to say, we got 3 games we got to talk about, and we're going to start off. I think it's going to be a strong start, at least. Because first up, we have a super cute game that's for all us Sanrio super fans out there. It's Hello Kitty Island Adventure. And it's not that Hello Kitty Island Adventure from South Park, but a port from the Apple Arcade mega hit that's coming to PC and Nintendo Switch. Quite a spread of consoles right there, or platforms, I should say.
Yes. Now we can all have Hello Kitty Island adventures, not just Butters.
Not just Butters, and you know what? Because from the Steam page quote, embark on a cozy open world adventure with Hello Kitty and friends. Befriend beloved characters as you explore and restore a mysterious island, solve ancient puzzles, cook delicious dishes, customize yourself and your cabins, and so much more. And you know, Hello Kitty Island Adventure hits PC and Switch tomorrow, Thursday, January 30th. And Drix, me and my girlfriend love Hello Kitty. I can't wait for Island Adventure. I don't have a Apple Arcade or our iPhone, so I never got to play it, so I'm really excited.
Yes. Rejoice, other brands. Hello Kitty Island Adventure is coming.
M. Stonewall C, yes, Richard Jacques is probably the guy you gotta thank for the Rally House playlist.
Oh yeah, Circuit Jazz, just racing game music.
Dude, that sounds like a Richard Jacques
Fusion.
operation.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's his wheelhouse.
if it's like Eurobeat or like synthwave stuff, that's all Richard Jacques, baby. Like, and all right, but new releases. Next up, we have Citizen Sleeper 2. Star Wars Vector.
Very nice.
Yes. The crazy sci-fi game. I didn't play the first one, but from the Steam page quote, a dice-driven RPG in a human and heartfelt sci-fi world. You are an escaped android with a malfunctioning body, a price on your head, and no memory of your past. Get a ship, find a crew, and take on contracts while you navigate across the Star Wars belt. Citizen Sleeper 2 releases this Friday, January 31st for PS5, PC, Xbox Series consoles, and Nintendo Switch. And Drix, this sounds awesome.
Yeah. Get everything you want out of a deep space dice-driven RPG.
I honestly, I just like the aesthetic. It looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like the premise. I like how I like how clearly like the way that you quote unquote level up is like you're like restoring parts of you. Sounds badass.
Yeah. No, there's definitely a cool Android story to be told there. Would you like to play some Pazik?
No. But I would like to play Citizen Sleeper 2 Star Wars Vector, and I'll be able to play it this Friday on almost any platform of my choice. And finally, our last game. This one, you know, it's one that it's gonna come out on Thursday, but I don't mean to put it last. It's definitely not least because it's Phantom Brave, the Lost Hero. Now, you know, Phantom Brave These guys, this is like a Disgaea spinoff that has been going on forever.
Oh wow! So there will be turn and tile based grinding to be done.
Oh, absolutely. You better believe it. And printies everywhere.
Yes, love the printies, dude.
Printies everywhere. From the Steam page, quote, join Marona and her phantom friends on a mission to defeat the sinister shipwreck fleet. Recruit phantoms, bind them to objects, combine them with gadgets, and even merge them with Marona herself in this play it your way RPG. The game releases again Thursday, January 30th on PS5, PS4, and Switch. And Drake's, just like you said, turn-based tile grinding combat.
Yeah, I bet you the items will have entire world levels in them. Somehow.
Yeah, probably. But you know what? We've got some video game news to get to right after the break. And Drix, what are we leaving out on?
Right now we got Cosmic Smash from the Dreamcast, a song called A New Level.
Cosmic Smash, a new level. Make sure you are smashing that like button, giving us a subscribe. CFM Radio. We'll be back.
CFM Radio.
CFM Radio, we are live.
And we are back once again with a bit more of that old video game news for you.
Absolutely, we sure are, because I think it is time for some
Video game news.
And we got some big news.
Yeah, right. Coming in hot off the trails of the Bayonetta theme.
Just the perfect theme for some high-intensity news action, because first up, we've got our old friends at Variety with the headline coming at you, quote, Sony Corp shakeup. Hiroki Totoki named corporate CEO. Hideaki Nishino elevated to solo CEO role at Sony Interactive Entertainment.
Oh yeah, we did a story last year about how they had two like a dual wielding CEOs over there.
Yeah, Hiroki Totoki came in as a co-CEO for a moment after Jim Ryan stepped down. And, when Jim Ryan stepped down, it was him and Herman Holst. They were leading the helm on all the PlayStation. They're almost every gaming initiative. If you believe the rumors, Concord was the baby of Herman Holst. And if you also believe in the reporting, Hiroki Totoki is saying that I'm all right with live services, but we got to focus on expanding our outreach.
Yes, get some newcomers' visibilities.
But you know what? This shakeup might change things up, because from the article, quote, Sony Corp is shaking up its leadership ranks in Tokyo and San Mateo, elevating Hiroki Totoki to the top CEO post, while Hideaki Nishino takes the reins of Sony Interactive Entertainment as the sole CEO of the unit that houses PlayStation.
Oh man, yeah, definitely switching things up as far as leadership roles.
In quite a big way, like we were just saying, Herman Holst and Hiroki Totoki hand in hand, and now it just seems like Hideaki Nishino is the new guy. But you know what? We're going to take a step back for a second. For those unaware, Hiroki Totoki, he was named the PlayStation CEO in 2023 after Jim Ryan departed, right next to Herman Holst. He was quoted as being, quote, obsessed with growth, and remarked at an investor Q&A last year that, quote, if you have strong first-party content, not only with our console but also on other platforms like computers, a first party can be grown with multi-platform, and that can help operating profit to improve. So that is another initiative we want to proactively work on. So this guy, obsessed with growth.
He wants to see more action on Sony's end.
Oh yeah, it's funny, which is actually kind of funny, because it was also last year that we reported that he was saying, hey, we got all we have to give. It's time for the third parties to start using the PlayStation 5.
Yeah. No, we've been keeping track here on CFM Radio.
Oh, absolutely. Because, going back to the Variety article and the new role of Hideaki Nishino, quote, Nishino was elevated to CEO of Sony's Interactive Platform Business Group in May 2024. He shared oversight of the PlayStation maker with Herman Holst, who was CEO of the division's Studio Business Group. Those appointments were made in the wake of the departure of CEO Jim Ryan and the elevation of Nishino to the top post of overseeing all of SIE caught industry observers by surprise. Nishino commented via the article, quote, I want to thank Herman for his expertise and leadership as he continues his role as CEO in the Studio Business Group. I am deeply grateful for the PlayStation community and their continued support, and I am very excited for what the future holds. Now, previously, this guy Nishino, he's not a nobody, Drix. He served as the SVP for Sony Interactive Entertainment and answered many, many, many questions about PlayStation 5 hardware in various PlayStation blog Q&A sessions. He was the guy who said that the PlayStation 5 was developed to be 99% backwards compatible.
Yeah, I liked hearing that news.
You know, so it's interesting. This guy, he's got the weight behind him, right? And interestingly enough, the studio business group of the Sony on the Sony end and the PlayStation wing, that's not really involved in video games. It's more involved in the video game adaptations, like the things they're doing for Netflix.
Oh boy. Yeah, more visuals on the subscription service screens.
Oh, absolutely. So it is interesting, right? Because you've got the guy who pretty much knows the PlayStation 5 console inside and out, and now he's at the head of Sony Interactive Entertainment. But I don't know what to feel about it when you got Hiroki obsessed with growth Totoki over here saying, hey, PlayStation's great and all, but what about PCs?
Huh. I don't know.
And then I compound that, right, with, like we just said, hey, what the fuck, guys? We put everything out on PlayStation. It's your turn. Why can't you guys be more like Square? While Square reels from, not selling enough.
Yeah. That is, what's been happening so far.
So it's a pretty interesting little corporate shakeup here. I actually think it will change things pretty profoundly, because if Herman Holst is no longer really working in games directly, or maybe he's just, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's say he's over there at Guerrilla working on the next Horizon game. So, if that's the case, then I think a lot of the people who were speculating, guys, I won't call them out by name, but here's another YouTuber. Guys like you, Luke Stevens, are the guys that we love to talk about here over on the Sifted podcast, Matt Kyle and Shane Satterfield. Those guys, they're all kind of saying, hey, this Hiroki Totoki dude, he's like no bullshit.
He's probably got some ideas as to what he'd like to see happen and how he's going to get it done.
Especially now that he is the head honcho. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wipe up some Concord tears, perhaps.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? With all that hubbub, it definitely sounds like they're trying to. But that's not just the only piece of spicy gaming news, Drix. Drix, we got Capcom's financials.
Big numbers, big prizes. I hope their 3-year selling a game plan has been proving profitable.
I think we're gonna see the fruits of that idea a little bit in the near future, because I think the statement at the top sums it up succinctly from the document entitled from capcom.co.jp entitled Consolidated Financial Results for the 9 months of the fiscal year ending in March 31st, 2025. So again, that's the statement. It's going to sum it up pretty succinctly, at least on my end. Here it is, quote, due to the timing of the upcoming fourth quarter release of Monster Hunter Wilds, a major new title in the company's flagship series, total sales volumes in the digital content business were 30.53 million units, down from 32.6 million units in the same period of the previous fiscal year, during which Street Fighter VI was released. However, sales volumes of catalog titles, were 26.61 million units, up from 26.7 million units in the same period of the previous fiscal year, due to the company's efforts to promote its digital sales strategy. As a result, the company sold 246 titles in 225 countries and regions, contributing to enhancing the value of the company's brands. You know what, Drix? again, pretty succinct right there. We have a little bit of downs, but we got Monster Hunter coming right around the corner. And we are selling a lot of titles in a lot of countries and regions.
Yeah, you didn't just put out Street Fighter, but Monster Hunter is around the corner, so that'll definitely make up the difference.
And we'll go back to that. Let's go back to that 3-year plan idea, right? Let's roll it back.
Yeah.
And so we reported on that either last year, end of the year before?
Right around the release of Street Fighter 6.
No, around the release of Resident Evil 4 remake. Resident Evil 4, really quick, remake released in 2023. So yeah, it was about 2 years ago. We're coming up on year 3.
So some of those plans, they might be starting to pay off a little bit.
A little bit, because it seems like that cadence really is paying off, right? You know, right? They're saying it right there. Hey, we lost a little bit, but our reach is longer, and that down 32 point. It's about 2 million roughly units, just down 2 million. You're still in the 30 million.
Yeah.
So you know, it seems like
there's a Capcom sale. Somebody's buying something.
Oh,
you know, it's more a matter of when to decrease the price or whatever, and how much to go down by, you know, to make the most money. I think that's the game they're playing.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like we're saying, with the DLC and all those other things, and now you have a Monster Hunter game right around the corner. Just like, because it's going to be one of those things where everyone's going to buy that, right? You know, I know you're looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Definitely got to happen. You know, I don't know when in the 3-year plan it will, but, you know, hopefully sooner rather than later.
Hey, you know, they've got you covered, right? They've got you covered. They don't really care if you buy it day one. They care if you buy it within the 3 years that it comes out.
Yeah. But when will that expansion show up?
That's the real question, right? When's the expansion?
Yeah.
When's that next big influx of players? That's interesting. Really, I'm going to move on to the next point because the financials are interesting. But it is interesting to see how Capcom understands that, right? It looks like they do. It looks like, hey, we're going to release the game, a bunch of people are going to grab it. And then, like, probably the most hardcore people will grab it. And then we're going to have, like, maybe the mid-core guys or, like, the fair weather players. They're going to get it when it's on sale. And then the people who feel like the game, like, isn't complete or maybe is missing something is going to, you know, they'll wait until those DLC sales, right?
Yeah, exactly. They know it's coming. It's just, you know, are you trying to ride some kind of live service multiplayer wave or something? Or Monster Hunter is the kind of game that it'll have a steady fan base, even as they release more Monster Hunters. Like, people are going to go back and play the old ones. So we can say that with confidence.
And you know, it's funny that you bring that up because it's a little all because in short it's a little all over the place, and we're waiting for the new Monster Hunter title. But the entire report seems to reflect the ups and downs all over the business. Because here's a couple areas of note. And it's funny you bring up Monster Hunter because, quote, in mobile content, Monster Hunter Now, which was released in the previous fiscal year, continued to gain popularity among a wide base of users, as cumulative downloads exceeded 15 million, contributing to a greater penetration and increased value for the Monster Hunter brand.
Wow. I might have to check that out as well.
Hey, if you're a fan, why not? Another interesting segment of this report was, quote, the arcade operations business segment of the company earned net sales of 16,552 million yen, up from 19.5 year on year, and operating income of 2,258 million yen, up 45.9 year on year. Drix, arcades are popping off.
Yeah, I love to hear that, especially as my my pinball habit carries on.
Hey, you know what? As a guy who's got some nice little pinball machines at his local arcade down here in San Diego, I gotta admit, in between some of those video games, I gotta walk over to that pinball machine and just play some pinball. Like,
Yeah, I mean, are you still fighting the console war, or do you still need to get out of the house once in a while? Maybe have a drink and play some games in a place with your friend, your proverbial third place.
right? Yeah, the third place.
Once you download pinball maps and find a few good machines, close to home, then it's over. It becomes a thing.
That's awesome though, because you know what? Capcom loves it, and finally, speaking of third places and things to do within them, quote, in amusement equipment, already kind of an interesting segment when we're hot off the heels of arcades. So, quote, again, in amusement equipment, the Pachislo market remains solid, driven by customer demand for smart Pachislo machines. Street Fighter V, Chosensha no Michi, released in June, sold 5,000 units, while Onimusha 3, released in October, sold 11,000 units. Further, Monster Hunter Rise, the new Pachislo model, released in November, sold 19,000 units, which contributed to earnings. Sales of Strike the Blood, which was also released in March, also grew. And you might be wondering, hey, what the fuck is Pachislo? Is that some kind of pachinko? Is that some, that's big over there in Japan, and they're right next to the arcades. So what is this? Well, dear viewer, or listener, I must regret to inform you that Pachislo is pachinko slots.
Oh yeah, gambling machines, one-armed bandits.
With your favorite Street Fighter and Monster Hunter characters.
Yeah, they left that part out of the 3-year plan.
Yeah,
they're making some kind of late sequels. I
Yeah.
don't know. They might be pretty fun to lose all your money in.
Yeah, you want that deep lore cut that's gonna make you the Street Fighter or Monster Hunter trivia master.
Oh boy.
You gotta get that
it's
Pachislo.
pachinko and a slot, huh?
Yeah, man, you're gonna be get 777 5 times in a row, and it plays the lore episode.
Nice. Yeah, don't think there's any flippers in that one.
So as we're winding
Not as
down
many arcade buttons.
Oh no, not at all. I don't even think there's enough there's that level of interaction that you get from regular pachinko, where you've got like the you got the
choose where to put the
yeah,
ball.
you drop the ball and there it goes, tick, 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 you know what I mean? Like, I don't even think you got that.
Interaction.
Yeah,
These are smart Pachislo machines.
I don't even know what that. I loathe to think what that even means, Drix. Like,
Clearly smarter than me.
yeah, it's something. Hey, it's smart enough to take my money, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
So as we wind the show back a little bit, we're gonna I do really want to reflect on this 3-year Capcom plan, like we were talking about earlier, because it definitely seems again like they have the cadence down, but we don't want to give them all the credit because I guess they're seemingly their ace in the hole are these the growing arcade business. I would assume this is mostly in Japan, because the Pachislo business is absolutely a Japanese audience or a Southeast Asian audience. So, and if that is growing due to customer demand, hey, that's a pretty nice way to back up your video game business, ain't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Earn a little bit of scratch so you can, keep making art, patron it somehow, especially recycling those old game assets and stuff. You must already have a bunch of cool art just laying around that you already made for another game. It just sounds like a fun, gambling-oriented remix. But I don't think we're getting any of those machines over here in the States, over at Round One or wherever you go play imported arcade machines.
Maybe in Vegas in like 3 or 4 years, but like I definitely don't see them.
5-year plan.
Yeah, 5-year
Half
plan.
as
There
long
you
as
go.
maybe.
Yeah, get on the Konami level. Like,
Could happen.
I get on the Konami level. You've been to Vegas recently? 2/3 of those machines are Konami machines.
Yep, they sure do say Konami on them.
Oh, money.
Where's my Castlevania themes?
Yeah, my little chibi horse racer. Like,
My Yu-Gi-Oh slot machine.
fuck. You give me a dual terminal slot machine, dude. Fuck me, man. You got me. Like,
Balatro gambling machine win.
oh man, you're gonna get so many millennials. Like,
It's coming.
it's coming. But you know what is not coming? Another CFM radio for another week. So, because
Yeah, exactly. What is coming is the end of the show.
yeah, the end of the show is here. It is all, and you know, CFM radio might be a whole week away. But we just had one right now, and we got a lot to chew on. I don't know about you. Tyrant's Realm, you got to check it out. It's PlayStation Management Shakeup, got to check that out. And hey, who knows? These patchy slow machines, maybe you might want to check those out on YouTube. What's
Yes.
what? God knows I'm going to after this. Like,
Yes, shout out to Rat's Nest in Chino that has the Metal Gear Solid patchy slow machine. It's the only place I've seen you can check one of those out.
wow, awesome. Actually, pretty cool. But hey, but whatever you decide to do, whether it be
Yeah.
patchy slow or
a
patchy
Hello
go
Kitty.
or Hello Kitty Island Adventure. That's tomorrow,
some
by
of
the
that.
way. Be sure to come on back next Wednesday. Be sure to check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/CFM on Twitch. Go follow us over there. WrestleQuest on Monday, CFM RPG Theater.
Yes,
That's all Drix.
I will be playing and I will probably say, oh yeah, more than once.
Oh, yeah! And that's me, Vector. And you know what? I'm going to be playing Marvel Rivals tomorrow night. We're going to be grinding ranked. Let's do it.
Yes, rank it up.
Rank it up. But you know what? For now, we got to tone it down because that's the end of the show. Drix.
Thanks for stopping by. Time to go play something.
Yeah, go play some games. Have a good night.
Good night, y'all.
See ya.